So my father got it. It's the class first cycle.
Any questions? All in favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. We have no public comment. New business. No old business.
None, sir.
New business. I'd like to recommend the initiation of the audit for 2024. Make a motion. John Van Etten. Mark, Letter. Question? On favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. No other business, the motion to adjourn. Okay. Second, John. Favor, aye? Aye. Opposed? Carried. Please call audit committee meeting for the County Capital Resource Corporation. We'll call to show the members, all members present. Weekly meeting and notice of meeting. No presentations. We'll be reading the draft minutes and ask for a motion that the minutes from the March 18th, 2024 meeting be accepted. That's right here. Favor, aye. Opposed? Carried. No public comment. No other business. New business. I have the recommendation to initiate the audit for 2024. Second, John Van Etten. In favor? Aye. Opposed? Carried. No other business. That's your motion to adjourn. Right? John.
In the PRC meeting first.
Okay, I recall the opposed, motion carried. Any public comment? If not, move on to treasurer's report.
Yes, the CCIDA shows income in November for foreign trade fees of $100 from NFI. And expenses, we paid $400 to Land and Work for legal fees in November. That's my report.
Any questions for Keith? Not going to get a motion to approve the treasurer's report. Second, John. discussion? All those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Committee reports. Keith?
Yes, the CCCRC Audit Committee just met 2 minutes ago, and we approved, or asked to approve the recommendation for the audit for 2024.
Motion to approve the initiation of the Dave, second, any discussion? Say aye. Okay. Motion to adjourn. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Our microboard folks have not joined us yet, so if you want to convene the IDA, and just, we'll go back to the presentation when they come on. The gentleman that is on right now is for Vortex, so they've already done a presentation. I'm gonna email my press right now. And ask for permission. Probably, when we get to the public hearing for Vortex, maybe. Hi, Jason. I was just saying that, you're on, and, when we get to the public hearing portion, you know, you might want to jump in and comment. If not, that's fine too. So if you want to go ahead and convene the meeting,
Okay.
I'm gonna send Mike an email right now.
Okay, open the, Clinton County Industrial Development Agency, meeting at 12:07. Got a quorum. Waive the reading of the notice of the meeting as well as the minutes, and ask for a motion to, approve. John, second. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And my fault, Chairman, because I thought the audit might take a little longer. I told them to jump on around 12:15, so we can just continue with the rest of our business and then we can go back.
So we should skip 1 and 2, new business.
Well, we can start with the treasurer's report.
Yeah.
And then, yeah,
But
we can do one is
because
fine.
we're gonna fly through those.
Yeah, we can do one, but we'll have to skip 2.
Okay. Okay, treasury report, Keith.
Yes, the CCIDA balance sheet is of November 30th, 2024, $99,880.51 in checking, $1,249,537.53 in sweep account, $227,064.93 in savings. On the income statement, we received $37.22 in interest in the savings account. And expenses for November, Clinton County Treasurer admin fees, $13,000. Camion Associates for housing assessment, $17,500. Public Policy Institute for economic blueprint, $5,000. For tax for October and November, $400. Hudson Russ, legal fees and disbursements, $33,291.22, excuse me. Chamber of Commerce, $750. Black Brook General Store for meeting expenses, $175.45. Harlan Clark for check stocks, $40.98. Credit card payment for meeting expenses, Meta, $25.55. And bank charge street fee, $12, for total expenses, $70,195.20.
Thank you.
Any questions for Keith?
Move to accept, Chair.
Second? Dave? Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. The audit committee.
Yes, the IDA audit committee met just prior to this meeting, and the committee recommended that the initiation of the audit for 2024 be approved.
Thank you, that vote. Yes. Awesome. Any discussion? All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Any old business?
None, Chairman, sorry.
So moving on to new business, discussing, Vortex USA, just, let us all know that we have an awful lot of support in this room for that project. We have our legislators, and Gary Douglas as well from the chamber. So, Molly,
Yep, so, we are adopting today the public hearing resolution for Vortex. This is not an approving resolution, this just authorizes us to hold a public hearing. And we are aiming to have that public hearing on January 7th. So Jason, I don't know if you want to say a few words before we go ahead and do that?
I just want to thank everybody at the table today for the opportunity to hear for our project. Obviously, we've been working together with the fine people in your area for the last few months. Everyone has been very supportive and very helpful, and we really do hope that this project can go forward.
Expecting at our January meeting. Officer from the resolution.
That is what we're aiming for.
Assuming public hearing.
Assuming the public hearing goes well, yes, that is the plan.
okay, so moving forward, we're getting motion to actually resolution authorizing the company director of the community of Clinton Industrial Development to hold a public hearing regarding the proposed project with the new system for clinical process. Further discussion? Roll call vote. Dave Hoover? Yes. Mike Zerler?
Yes.
Mark Leto?
Yes.
Keith Defiant?
Yes.
John Van Etten?
Yes.
Joey Tremblay is excused. And Trent Turner, yes.
So Chairman, I would say we could skip to action item 3.
Okay.
This is Great Shazy Solar. I believe similar to what we've had to do before, I think it's the meets and bounds changed a little bit.
Yeah, I'm happy to. speak.
Yeah, go ahead, Chris.
Thanks, Paul. So, 5 megawatt solar project in the town of Champlain, 2023. It ended up, this project was slightly larger than the original lease lines. Like it's gonna go from 34.21 acres, 37.22 acres. So this resolution authorizes amending the documents to reflect that extra 3 acres in the project description.
Didn't affect megawatts or anything.
It shouldn't. You can look at that a little bit, but
I don't believe so.
I doubt it. We'll confirm. But this would just be a simple document we would draft amending the lease agreement, lease back, have nothing on the pilot. Get those filed.
Also, the execution of the development to a certain amount of
Yes.
Mark Webb. Yes. Mr. File.
Yes.
John Bennett.
Yes.
Ray Convey, excused. Jeff Fullen, yes. Dave Hoover.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Chairman, we do have Jean-Francois on with us. Hi, Jean-Francois, how are you?
I'm doing good. You?
I'm well, thank you. Did you want to wait for the rest of your team to do
Yes.
this? Okay.
Yeah, Eric's supposed to be there. And I don't know if Mike was on the invite.
Okay, he was on the invitation, yeah.
Okay.
So we'll just,
Give me one moment. I will.
no problem.
Join.
So Chairman, if you just want to go to, number 4, the preparation and processing of the 2024 pilot agreement. Sorry, yeah. Okay, so this is the invoice from Clinton County.
All in favor?
I thought that was included in
Nice
my
move.
normal fee.
So we do pay an administrative services fee, as you know, to Clinton County. We also have a separate agreement with Clinton County to handle all of our pilot billing. So and as we discussed that, I think it's at one of the last meetings, their fee did go up due to, they hadn't changed their fee in
19.
almost 20 years.
20 years?
2005.
Yeah, it was quite a while since their fee has changed.
I don't think we've done with you for 20.
So,
Well, in fairness, this part of the arrangement was, right? So we used to do the pilot billing.
Yeah. Eric will be there in 2 minutes.
that's okay, Jean-Francois. We're gonna take care of a couple of other business items, so just sit back and relax and I'll
Perfect.
wait for Eric.
This was always an additional agreement that the IDA had with the county, absent the relationship the IDA has with the county currently. Previous executive director, we should probably review that.
Any questions?
I have 2 bosses in the room. I can't make my normal joke. Saying something.
There's a lot of smiles. So may I get a motion to approve that payment? Dave, Mark, any further discussion? Not all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
So we can do action number 5, if you want it. This will be real quick. So we just need to approve the 2025 meeting schedule.
May I get a motion to approve the meeting schedule? Keith, John, any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
And on that note, you will notice we approved the audit and did the meeting schedule. At this meeting, typically, we have done our mission operation statement and kind of the annual meeting. Upon talking with my council, we're one of the very few that do that, and it would be more appropriate to do it closer to submitting our Paris report, which, as we've discussed, I would like to kind of turn into an annual meeting, and we could do, actually looked at our measures and things like that. And we kind of need to, we're doing the same things every year. So I kind of want to make sure that we have a discussion about what our goals are rather than me measuring what we've done against goals. I'd rather have goals and then have performance. So kind of doing it backwards right now. So probably either the February meeting or the March meeting, we can look at having a bit longer meeting, take you guys somewhere like Lake Placid or something, so we can have a nicer, as good a lunch as this is, but then really kind of dive into those measures and operations. So just kind of keep that on your radar. I'll have more information for you on that. Chairman, now that we have Eric and Jean-Francois here, I think that we can skip back to our presentation from Microverse.
Okay, just as an introduction, we obviously think this is a important project to look at. I think in the room, the directors for the IDA, as well as two legislators.
Just I apologize. It's very difficult to hear you.
I think it's
I'm-
he's at the other end of the table. We'll try to.
Yeah. Thank you.
You can hear me well, I assume?
Super well.
Never been told I was quiet.
We have the chair of the county legislature here, Mark Henry, and the chair of the Economic Development Committee for the county as well, and Patty Waldron. And other support is from somebody else that you probably know, and that is Gary Douglas from the chamber. So with that, can we move forward with the presentation?
So Jean-Francois and Eric, you are free to speak. Just let us know a little bit about the project. Obviously, we've been very supportive of this project. We've been working a long time to get here. We're excited to have you present today. ID Board, I've obviously been reporting to them on our progress as much as we could through executive session. And now that everybody knows, they would love to hear directly from you.
Excellent. So good afternoon, everyone. Very happy to be with you today. First, Jean-Francois, I'll let you just briefly introduce yourself, your role.
Yes, thank you, Eric. I'm Jean-Francois Lafayette, Microverse CFO for 8 years now.
Thank you, Jean-Francois. So Eric Boulet, CEO of Microbird, for almost, a year and a half now. Again, very happy to be with you this afternoon to talk about our project. Let me say thank you for all the support. Since the very beginning of the discussions, Microbird, our project, has been strongly supported by the community. We have a great opportunity ahead of us to expand our operations in Plattsburgh. For Microbird, I mean, the objective is to basically grow our market share in North America, and to double our production capacity for the manufacturing of school commercial buses, electric and non-electric, and by leveraging our success that we've been having for decades with our product design, product quality, and expand our market share in North America. So it's an important milestone for Microbird. But it's definitely one that is extremely positive for all of our team. And to put things in to put numbers and things in perspective. So Microbird, as you know, owned by Bluebird, a US-based, more than 100 years school bus manufacturer, and the Girardin family here in Drummondville, Quebec. Now, in 2024, Microbird has delivered to both the United States customers and Canadian customer around 3,400 buses. And by 2027, when we're looking at our combined to-be capacity between our site in Drummondville as well as our new site in Plattsburgh, we're going to be an organization that's going to be in the range of between 8,500 overall buses annually. So someone could say, wow, okay, this is spectacular growth plan. So is it realistic, and where is it going to come from? Well, first, let me tell you that we already have a strong presence, of course, commercial presence in the United States. 70% of our current production is exported in the US, thanks to our across the nation very strong dealer network that we have. We're combining with Bluebird, with dealers across the entire country of both US and Canada. But the microbird historically, a bigger portion of our market position is in the school segment, way less in the commercial segment. When we're saying commercial, we're talking about hotel shuttles, airport shuttles, transit buses, cities, communities, special needs type of buses. And in that specific market in the US, so far we've only reached a very low part of the market. And the feedback from that market and customers is that they appreciate a lot Microbird's product, our brand, again, quality of our design, quality of our build. So there's a significant demand for our product out on the market, and that's what primarily we're expecting to expand over the next years. So our growth, our growth strategy, let me say that it's a realistic one. It's not an optimistic scenario. It's a realistic scenario that we have ahead of us. So when we're so now everything's becoming real. So for us in 2025, it will be about setting up the plant, hiring, onboarding, training of employees for a start of production in the summer of 2025. So over the next months, we will definitely collaborate with the NovaBus team. And I'm repeating myself, but the collaboration from day one, as well with them, has been super good. They will ramp down, and we will ramp up as early as summer 2025. So now we're obviously working on the fine details to make sure that we're planning the project, as I said, and as early as January, we're going to be hiring and onboarding new employees. And cut me if I'm going into too many details, and after that, I'll be very happy to answer questions. But a couple of weeks ago, we had the opportunity to meet current workforce employees at NovaBus. We did a presentation on our project, and the response is very positive, and we're very happy about that. So it's a start for us. Again, thank you very much for your support. Looking forward to meet in person, getting to know the business community in Plattsburgh, in the county. Very much looking forward to it. By the way, I'm telling that story to many people, but I'm not a total stranger to the region. Born and raised in Montreal. It's been a family tradition to be in northern New York pretty much every year. So I've been in the area many times, and I'll be very happy to be much more present in the years to come.
Thank you so much, Eric. Any questions from the board? I'm shocked.
Well, you're amazed at me. So we have one question here. It's an easy question, but it's very important to what we do as an IDA board of directors. So we need to be sure that absent approval of the application before the IDA, that your project would not be going forward. So can we, for the record, confirm that but for the IDA's assistance, that this project would not happen?
It was absolutely key. It is absolutely key for us to have support. To make, I mean,
Lot of faith,
it's
lot of faith.
this project as a whole, it needed a business case. I spoke about the commercial opportunity, but it's a huge investment for Microbird. We're doubling our capacity. We're going to be expanding significantly than our number of employees. So support was really, really important.
Thank you very much.
Any other questions?
If
When we can, Molly, I think for Jean-Francois and Eric's edification, can you just go over the timeline?
Yeah, so we are expediting this a little bit, as you might recall. We normally have a requirement that the folks present, you guys get time to mull it over. Then we do the public hearing resolution, then the subsequent approving resolution. Their timeline is, they're tight. They want to close on this property pretty quickly. We want to make sure that those jobs at Nova Bus are retained. Those folks, this is very welcome news right before the holidays, of course. So we are going to be voting on the public hearing resolution today. And then we have already looked to schedule the public hearing on December 30th. So we're trying to move this along as quickly as possible.
Public hearing December 30,
Yes,
approval resolution,
would hopefully be at the January meeting.
January meeting.
Assuming all goes well.
Assuming all goes well.
Yeah. And, you know, we agreed to expedite this, given that we've had many executive session discussions regarding this project. So, barring any concerns or questions, we can probably skip right to action item 1, Chairman, to do the public hearing. 2, excuse me.
Okay, we'll get a motion authorizing the executive director of the County of Clinton Industrial Development Agency to hold a public hearing regarding a proposed project to be undertaken for the benefit of Microbird. Mike, Keith, second. Any discussion, questions? Okay,
Yes.
Mr. Fire,
Yes.
John Burnett,
Yes.
Joey Hughes, Trent Trahan, yes. Dave Hoover,
Yes.
Mike Zerl,
Yes.
motion carries.
So Chairman, just with that, I just want to add that this has kind of been a Herculean effort with Gary kind of taking the charge, and Gary, I don't know if you want to say a few words.
Gentlemen, thank you, and everyone at Microbird for making a Merry Christmas. For the employees and for the community, and thank you to the Clinton County IDA, which has been an indispensable part of the team.
Yes, and it's you know, been a good partnership. I think that I say a lot that the North Country, particularly in Clinton County, I think we do partnerships best here between the Chamber, TDC, and New York State, and Microbird, of course. We were able to get this done, and I think Gary said it best, and that it's not very often where you get to replace a company that's leaving. So this is pretty monumental for us in this area. So thank you, Gary, for your efforts.
Thank you.
Chairman, with that, Mike, do you have anything to offer on the Clinton County side?
Well, I'd just like that we could sign off with our
Yeah.
folks here, but
Yeah.
thank you again, gentlemen. À la prochaine.
À la prochaine.
Merci beaucoup.
Merci beaucoup.
Guys, we'll be in touch, okay?
Thank you. If we don't get to talk or see each other, wish you a very happy holidays.
Same to you, folks. Same to you.
Thank
Have
you.
a great day.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Very briefly, I don't think there's any new information, but we do have chairwoman of the county's economic development committee here and the chairman of the board. So all the projects that we have previously discussed are continue to move in the right direction, including sale at CBIG to the east, hopefully for a housing project that we're looking forward to. Obviously, this project art, aerospace as well. All pieces of good news that I've been bringing to this board's attention. And everything continues to move in the right direction. And Wednesday night are passing the 2025 county budget, which I'm happy to report, increases the county's tax levy for the 4th consecutive year. That seems to be going in the right direction as well. A lot of that is due to, continued strength in sales tax receipts. And that's due to what we do here as a board, Chamber of Commerce does with their tourism money, and obviously what my boss's leadership guides. We are moving forward in the right direction, and looking forward to a prosperous 2025.
Usually you say in spite of my bosses.
That's when they're not here.
You've been listening to the tapes. I play back a few and it's like in spite of. Thank you.
With that, I don't have a lot to report other than what's, in my report is pretty much what it is. Things continue, I just echo what Mike said, things continue to move in the right direction on all our projects. We're hoping to close Catalyze by the end of the year. Thanks to Chris and Shannon who keep moving all those things forward for us. So, and I'm sure not only will the tax levy go down once that is passed, but your blood pressure as well. With that, Chairman, we can introduce the CPL team to do their presentation for us. This is the CPL folks who are conducting our Clinton Community College feasibility study and what we can do with that property. And after this, I'm going straight over there to show them the property. Great. Take it away.
Turn around. So just quick introductions, won't keep too much of your time here, but appreciate you having us today. We made the trip in from Rochester this morning, so beautiful drive. Luckily it's not snowing, but so my name is Andrew Costa. I'm a principal and civil engineer with CPL. I've been with the firm since 2009. I spent some time in heavy highway engineering before that. I specialize in and lead our site group, a lot of the site projects across New York State and actually all of our other offices. And I'm also heavily involved in economic and then industrial development. We're heavily involved in the stamp site, Genesee County, Chautauqua County, Livingston County, Wyoming. So with me today, Tom Bach. You can go ahead and introduce yourself.
Yeah, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tom Bach. I'm a civil engineer from CPL, also out of the Rochester office. Like Andrew, I specialize in site design, land development, and also do economic development and IDA work.
And then we also have Maria Mazur.
I'm an architect with CPL. I will be leading the building portion of this study, evaluating what structures we have on the property, what they can be good for, and also identifying potential challenges, what they are not good for. And hopefully, together with the civil group, we can arrive, and with you, we can arrive at some really good ideas for use of the property once the college leaves. In general, since CPL is a multidisciplinary firm, it's really, we have a lot of cooperation in the engineering departments and architecture, so neither one of us works in a vacuum. And I think this is the best combination for doing a broad study like that, that involves location, property itself, and buildings.
For anyone not familiar with CPL, I don't know if has anyone heard of CPL? Okay.
It's far away.
So we are headquartered in Rochester, New York. We have, I think we're up to 24 offices now, about 500 employees. We continue to grow and acquire firms across the eastern seaboard. We have a Buffalo office, Olean, Latham. We're in the Carolinas and recently Florida, Virginia, Ohio. So we're kind of starting to fill in the gaps. Multidisciplinary firm, as Maria said. So this is just part of our team, and we're going to be pulling in mechanical, electrical, plumbing, and interiors. We have multiple resource architects on the project that can also take a look at the project. Probably 3 or 4 steps to get where we need to go, and working with Molly. So first, we're obviously here in town. We're gonna head over to the site, really take a look at what we have. We're gonna look for utilities, we're gonna look for record mapping, we're gonna look for building plans. I know you said there's a whole room of documents.
Yes.
That we're gonna pour through. It's really about getting boots on the ground, getting familiar with the site, and seeing what we can and can't do with this space. So I don't know if you want to go into any details, but Tom's gonna be handling the civil site aspect. Do you want to just touch on like a few things we're gonna look for?
Sure, yeah, so on top of the record mapping and what we see actually at the site today, we're gonna review online environmental resources, see what utility information we can find. And with that, we'll kind of develop an existing conditions map. So that'll show what's on site, what constraints there might be. And then from those constraints, we'll lay out a proposed site plan on how we can best utilize the site and align with your goals.
And Maria is obviously gonna handle the architecture piece of it, everything inside the building. I don't know if there's any specifics you want to get into
Well,
today.
this is a very conceptual study, but so certainly we will look at the overall size of the structures, in what state they are, how old they are, and really work also with your group very much to see what are the needs in Clinton County, what realistically we can develop that can be supported by the population. Yeah? So we will also look at the studies, well, from whatever sources we have, aside from your real people sources, also online, some historic resources. And then we really probably will not develop building plans, to the last storage room and door, but certainly working with the size of the building, with square footage, and again, with their age, their location. We will hopefully propose some viable uses for that campus.
So that's really the bulk of the work. At the end, we put everything into a feasibility study. Depending on where we head with the project, we'll have some recommendations. There might be some upgrades and improvements along the way that we can put some cost to. And the idea is to look at funding options after that and figure out how we actually implement the project. For me,
Just to interrupt real quick,
Yeah,
sorry.
okay.
And as you might recall, that was one of the reasons we chose this particular study, because they came with helping us find grant opportunities to help get that off the ground. So
I don't know how many grants we wrote last year. It's probably in the 30 to.
How many did you receive?
Actually,
Okay.
just about, of the 30, I'm gonna roughly estimate 15 to 60, probably get 50% of them. And a lot of our clients, we do that for them free of charge, because obviously we want to be partners in the long term. It's not just a one and done for us. So I think of a direct discussion with Molly was, I don't want to put together a feasibility study and walk away. That's really not what we're about. We want to help you find the next step, help you find funding, bounce ideas. I'm going to leave a bunch of cards today. Feel free if you have ideas, if you want to call me, Maria, Tom, anything you have, any background information, we'd love to hear about it. I don't want to work in a vacuum. We don't want to just write things and send it to you. So we want to do this as a collaborative.
I've been pretty clear with the CPL team. This is an interesting dynamic where the IDA is paying for the study. The county owns the property. We want to be partners in this and work together to find the best and highest use for this. That being said, it is the county's property and they do get the ultimate decision as to what goes there. But I think we're all on the same page of that whatever's there, we want to be able to generate tax revenue that, and have that and have them be IDA projects. We're not really looking to put a lot of nonprofit things there or things like that, but something that's going to generate tax revenue in the long run.
And for the IDA on the development side, we can look at Fast New York, we can look at a couple different programs. We did the same thing for Chautauqua County, Genesee County. We're actually doing a similar feasibility study, although that's more on the land part for the town of Bethlehem, south of Albany. Our intent there is to get to a Fast New York grant. So it's kind of our approach. Again, not one and done. We want to see this through and hopefully implement everything.
It's not a single end user. right? This could be
Yeah.
redeveloped in several different
Yes.
pockets.
And I think we're gonna end up with several different ideas.
They're also aware that the IAM stays the IAM, so.
And it's really figuring out how to use that. You know, when I first look at it, I think multi-use, you know, I don't know if there's retail can support there or hotel, but we can figure that out. But I want to keep that campus setting and really figure out what works on the site, but we're gonna have a lot of iterations.
For housing?
yeah.
That's work, or you have too many homes?
No,
We're just like everybody else. There's obviously a housing need and there's probably opportunity for some housing on that property.
so I do know, I'm a little familiar with property.
A little bit.
There is towards your old fire station. You know, there technically is lake access.
We were talking about that.
There's an easement.
Well, yeah, I think there's actually access, but you know, it gets, if you look at an aerial map,
Which they have, actually.
you know, a lot of stuff that looks wonderful, you'll see in half an hour that, you know, may not be, because the terrain to go to your fire station is a little like this. So that being said, if there's a way to get to the water, that could enhance any of the other concepts that you may come up with, I think that would be beneficial.
Okay.
But it's not, no, it's not simple stairways down to
Yeah.
down to a wonderful.
I
view.
figured, yeah,
Yeah.
it does. It first. Yeah, any more ideas we have to hear them, kind of work through the process.
Yeah, the infrastructure.
Is that old hotel, is that on that historic registry?
It is
Yes.
not.
It's not.
It's not historic preservation.
Oh, this, okay.
And it'll stay that way.
My friend stayed there in Bay Blue. I was just looking at possibility for historical.
Yeah, but if it's historically,
Your
then I
limited-
can't do
your
much
uses
with it.
are limited to get designated certain costs. But I'll leave it to you.
I know there's been an effort along that lines of trying to stick with the mantra of that without having that restriction. That's a board member there, but from a utility standpoint, there's basically like a microcosm of the city. It's got gas, electricity, telecommunications.
It's also on the Quick Community College board.
Okay,
So,
perfect.
So we're involved when the base closed, getting the infrastructure there, building it up, and,
Okay.
you know, and it's the capacities there are for opportunity.
doesn't it have its own water? Yeah.
Well,
There's
close to
a
the
tank
town.
closest to it, so it's pretty much everything involved, and I think the capacities were looked at for distribution to the IAM, and all the facilities had key gas and electric, you know, to compete and choose options for, you know, best economic source of energy.
You saw there's land, to the west of
Yes.
the road as well.
Correct.
That could be its own little development that may not be in concert with the larger property,
Yes.
because it's kind of separated.
Yeah, saw that, so we'll definitely incorporate that in the overall plan. Utilities, great discussion, especially when we look at development.
Backup generation.
No utilities, you're usually.
Yeah.
Dead in the water.
Yeah, that's usually the first thing everybody wants, but it's hard to fund, to get the pro cost benefit.
Yeah, really hard to do without burden and, we go through it all the time. Without a project, we like the shovel ready program because it's actually geared toward bringing in businesses, based on that infrastructure piece.
Something interested in keeping all this property in your hands or selling off?
You got to check my bosses.
Possibly, I mean, I guess, you know, if there's an option out there where it is, you know,
Like leasing it versus.
financially sound for us to do so, then I'm open to that. I'm sure Mark is too, if it sounds right. You know, so it could be a. give
We don't have a
to
developer
give,
yet,
right?
but just, you know, just as a
Mark, you're awfully quiet.
You know,
You're quiet.
Quiet.
I'm
I'm only loud when I'm around people. That's not the case.
Well, thanks, guys. Did any other questions?
I think, and I'm not saying you're not, so, but I think we're hearing the right things. I think what's important to me, I'm the county administrator as well, for these fine people behind me. And you've mentioned a couple times, but open lines, of communication, it's not like you go away for 6 months and all of a sudden there's a deliverable. I think that the board would appreciate, some sort of continued dialogue. Yeah, even if that is, we could schedule something the next time you're east. If it's a meeting night, that maybe we could talk to the entire legislature as well.
Also, for my board, as for transparency purposes, once a concept is developed, given history, even if we don't have a developer in hand, might not be bad to have some sort of public forum saying what these folks have come up with and what has been proposed, just to get feedback from folks. Doesn't mean we have to go with their ideas, but given past experiences, might be something to consider. Right, Chris?
Yeah, I think we should schedule a standing meeting, whether it's weekly or bi-weekly, just to get started. There's gonna be a deep dive and a lot of information absorbed by us on this trip and all the documents we get. After that, we follow up, I think, schedule a meeting, whether it's in person or over Teams, however you prefer. And then we really start bouncing ideas off of each other. So just like you said, not in vacuum at all. We want to be delivering things at certain times, not 6 months down the road where it's too late. You guys will, we already thought of that, or we've already tried that. So
Good. I'm sure you've already covered this, but how long does that process take from today till the day you walk back in here and say, this is what we've discovered?
Given
I
the
would think 8 or 10 days.
given the holidays, I was gonna kick it off in
Okay.
January. It's really a couple. We want to take the documents back and we can talk whether we make some of this or how that works.
I happen to be a community college board member too, so.
We'll do our deeper dive, get our thoughts in a row, I would say by, given the holidays, the second
No,
first
that's
week in January.
I keep saying that I'd rather be right than fast.
Yes.
So I'm not trying to rush you along. We've been quite a while getting this far and a lot of people have been involved in that. Otherwise, we wouldn't even be here today, were it not for all of them. So I was just for my own interest about how long that part would take, because one of the biggest fears I have is 8 years from now, I'm driving by that place and there's nothing up there.
Understood.
Agreed. And just so everybody's aware too, Ken Kennelly and I have been in communication about the study going on. He's been very helpful in saying, come on in. Unfortunately for Ken, he hasn't been there that long. We do have the buildings and grounds folks that are gonna be there today, and also Steve Frederick, who knows a ton about that property, just historically and what he knows what's where. I know he knows exactly where that lake access is, so he can take them there. So Steve said he's at their disposal, so.
Yeah, we'll want to walk away with his contact.
Absolutely,
If it's okay.
absolutely,
'Cause
yes.
I'm sure we'll be.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. So, any other questions? Okay, great.
Thank you,
So,
appreciate it.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you for lunch.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks very much.
Do you, I just want to wrap up this meeting. I don't know if you guys want to head over.
We're gonna head over,
Alright.
probably change
Yep,
and
go for
get
it.
suited up.
Let me give you just, I'll send you an email with my cell phone number.
Okay,
Okay,
perfect.
great.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody.
Sharon Coogan. See you later. Thank you.
So Chairman, actually, I'm sorry, I did forget one thing, in my executive director's report. The IDA and the county were approached by NYSEG to submit a letter of support, with regard to increasing the substation on, called Kent Falls. That is the power source for Schluter.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Gary.
Thank you.
Thanks. It does come, they're selecting a few sites around New York State, the Public Service Commission to target to enhance those substations. They would be looking to put it at a 50 megawatt facility. A lot of power. But, as it stands right now, it doesn't really look like what we have with Stain Schluter's future plans. So we think we have a good chance at being targeted for this. There is a consumer cost at the end of the day. So I wanted to make you aware, make sure the board's consensus before I submit a letter of support like that. Spoken with the chairman. I don't know if you wanted to express your concerns, Mark, and how I address them. Or...
Well, no, you did exactly so. The only, and concern, I think, strong word, interest, I think, is more accurate in the sense that obviously supplying more power for the area for anybody, but particularly Schluter is a good thing. I can't imagine anybody would be against that. The part that caught my attention though, when I read the template letter was that it appears from the letter, I don't know this for a fact, it appears that the project, if it is approved, would be paid for upfront, quote unquote, by the consumer with a rate increase. So it seems to me that what would happen is if the project's approved, rather than the company along with, I don't know, New York State and the IDA or however this gets done, gets the money and they build it, it appears that a large share of this would result in a consumer rate increase up front. And then even while this project is ongoing, being built, et cetera, it would be paid by rate increase. I can't say that I know that's true. As I say, it caught my eye. I'm interested in that. But overall, we need power. We need that. Schluter certainly needs it. But I am concerned about consumer costs.
So I don't know how my board feels, if you're comfortable with me signing a support letter for that, and I'm going to have a quick discussion about it. I think at the end of the day, it's necessary.
Oh, man, I think we need to finish this conversation. Mark did say the county's also writing a letter.
Right. It's just something to keep in the back of our.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm not saying that, we won't pass it, we won't do it, that's not what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I think we need to know, when folks ask us, how the hell is this being paid for?
By the
I'd
way,
like to be
we
able
just
to
got this request Friday afternoon, so. Yeah, so any questions or concerns from my board?
I'm sure that revenue source we can discuss between whoever is increasing the service and the Public Service Commission.
Okay.
Because there's got to be some way of recovering that expense.
Mark, you talk.
That's basically the issue. Don't know any of the details, so I just what I'm hearing, but typically I'm looking at it as someone's moving into town. I'm just using this as a crude example, and they want to put some grandiose production activity there, and it requires energy, and there's no source for it. So who is responsible for paying that? Okay, and typically the utility rules is that the customer that wants that needs to factor that into their growth plan, okay, and their economics on the project. I wouldn't necessarily look at it as a rate increase. I look at it as a contribution by the customer to help fit into a tariff rate that's already established, rather than a new rate change.
It seems to me that's not the way it was presented in the template letter.
It very well could be, and I don't know.
Mark, I should, that template letter was not provided by NYSEG, that was provided by the chamber, so there might be some misinterpretation there.
Okay. Well, again, I'm for it.
The answer I got that I gave you was directly from NYSEG. So.
And the information I know, unless it's changed, there's multiple sources of potential. Where do you get your energy from? Self-generation, natural gas, geothermal, all these types of things. And that's a customer decision, as to which way their site plan was. And to have that identified, and then depending on what's going on, and I think you said it well to begin with, Mark, that's very diverse circumstances site. They extend over, I think even behind the nicing plant, they want to expand over there. So it's not the perfect point to extract power at one location because there's distances involved. So those things require certain system upgrades, for lack of better terms, which they have to investigate and fully vet out before the costs are really known.
But as Clark said, Public Service Commission would be
Well,
asking those very, yes, no?
well, only if they're not, I'm not aware of them going for a rate increase just because of this customer. That's the thing that I'm not sure about. I've never heard that.
Like I said, I only have a.
So I'm not saying that, but they have filed tariffs, which are how do you handle solar projects like we do right now? So there's certain rate classifications that you bill the customer for that service, to hook up that electrical infrastructure or gas infrastructure to do it. So they're already predefined by the Public Service Commission. So unless they're looking to change that, make something special, I'm not sure it's approval for the Public Service Commission.
And I haven't actually read the full template that Gary sent me. Whenever I write letter of support from either the IDA or on behalf of the county, I change it so that
Where is this coming from? It's coming from,
the request.
yeah,
Nice.
coming from.
They've got, this is part, I'm sorry, man. This is part of a larger thing. I think it's called urgent projects. There's like 10 of them across New York State that they're talking about doing something in Rochester and different. And it has to do with the power distribution lines and power, with the grid and the manufacturing of power. So there's like 10 of them, and we would be in competition with the other areas. And that's something like Urgent New York, or that's the name of the program. And as I say, it's to get the grid improved in very rapid fashion. So this would be one of those possible programs. I don't know how many would be approved, or at what level. I don't even know who approves them.
And that could be where if you're competing against allocation of certain.
Yes, sir.
It sounds like that's what it is. Then the
So
Public Service
this was
Commission-
I can read you the request. It said the New York State Public Service Commission developed the proactive grid planning proceedings to recognize the need for a flexible approach to upgrade the state's electric grid. The Kent Falls project would support the significant expansion of one of the North Country's largest employers, Schluter Systems, along with future economic development of the greater Plattsburgh area. Sorry, it cuts off here because of the way it's formatted.
Well, I have a question. Maybe I'm just seeking your own knowledge. Kent Falls, where does the energy come from for CDA?
Well, NIPA provides source that connects into Vermont, so that's a main.
So this
substation.
would be something that could benefit the redevelopment of the old airport.
Absolutely,
help
it's
that.
bringing energy
So
capacity.
it's not just
into
going
there.
to a direction that we wouldn't, as the county proper, couldn't be able to take advantage of.
I mean, 50 megawatts is a lot of.
Well,
Yeah, I want to make sure those 50 megawatts get to where I need it to get.
Right.
to.
Well, the thing of it is, just so that you know, the existing infrastructure at Kent Falls is just under that right now. So you'd be basically adding another transformation there. You'd be doing things from a 115 or 46,000 volt line, and you'd be adding additional capacity. So it's like making your generator bigger, for lack of better terms, distribute throughout the system, because that substation is a key substation that feeds a lot of the distribution that goes out to the base and every place else in the community. So it would be any of the old airport, that whole neck of the woods is fed from Kent Falls.
I have no trouble with your writing letter.
Okay. Any other feedback, comments? Concerns?
I think we ought to support it.
Yeah. Okay, great. That's all I have.
Okay, any other business? Other
No.
than Merry Christmas, Happy New Year?
Merry Christmas, everybody. Happy New Year.
This was a great meeting to end the year.
Yes.
We've got two fantastic new projects that will definitely help great that we're potentially saving all of those jobs at Novabus.
Yeah, yeah, and in case you didn't read over their application, it is a standard category 3 that they've applied for. They will be doing a host community agreement for the school, which they view as a future benefit, so great. I don't know why, but they do. And they did project 350 jobs, which is what Nova currently has, so roughly.
That's great. Any dialogue like the type of, is there any concerns with the existing, I guess, mindset of the workforce working under a certain thing, or they feel it's a good transition?
They have made clear that they very much want to retain that workforce. Yeah, so they're excited about that.
Good.
I think the skill set is pretty much the same. It's just, smaller. And they don't just do electric buses, they do both.
Great.
I think, I've talked to these folks, but somebody at some point, maybe they already are, but somebody should facilitate as part, level 2 of their business that Eric was talking about the non-school bus market.
Yes.
You get on state contract, and it's almost takes 2 years to get a bus for our CCPD system out of the state contract. So I don't know if that's something that facilitates, as the state certainly has been proactive in this project.
Mike Morks at ESD has been the lead on this, so I can definitely ask that question. And just for the record, Steve Hunt will be in town next Monday, and he asked me to give him a tour of some of our projects. So those who don't know, Steve Hunt is the regional director for Empire State Development. Also my former boss.
Second best boss.
Obviously.
Yeah, good motion to adjourn. Mike, Dave, second. Any discussion? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Thank you.
Wonderful. Thanks.
It's gonna give you a good estimate too.